Good morning, guys. It's not actually morning, but that's okay. Getting a bit of a late start to the video this morning, and to the day, as it were. Foot is feeling pretty good this morning. I've got the boot on, and I've been walking around a little bit and doing alright. But I woke up, and as I've said a couple of times the last few days, I've got a sinus infection, or the beginnings of one, from all the allergies and everything. So I woke up with massive stabbing pain in this area. So like the entire eye and everything around it. It was just horrible. So alarms and everything went back and forth. After Christina and the kids took off, I slept for another hour or so and then came downstairs, finally took some medication, sat through my morning meeting, talked to everybody, sent some emails, laid back on the couch and just passed out for another hour or so because finally the medication had kicked in. And when I woke up, it was 11 or so and feeling great, feeling perfect. Still a little bit congested, obviously, still sound a little rough, but feeling a lot better. Went upstairs, took a nice hot shower, everything is pretty well cleared out now. And just in time, because I'm gonna have quick lunch, and then at 1 p.m., I have an online meeting with Bryan Lunduke. If you are not familiar with Bryan Lunduke, he's actually one of the guys that actually inspired me to start making videos on YouTube. He used to be on a video series called The Linux Action Show. It was like a 1 to 1.5 hour series that runs every week. It's still running. He's not on it anymore. He and Chris Fisher made it, and it's been going for so long. And it was like the hot button issue when it came to Linux on YouTube at the time. So it was those two guys, in addition to just a lot of the other stuff I was watching on YouTube, that sort of inspired me to start making videos of my own. So when Bryan and his co-host Matt reached out to me a couple of days ago, they both reached out to me at the same time through multiple channels and said, "We're doing a show, do you want to be on it?" I was like, yes, let's please do that. I think it's only going to be like a half an hour interview type thing, basically just a Linux YouTubers, what happened to them kind of thing. And as I told them, it's going to be kind of unfortunate. My story is going to be a bit of a horror story because I was always the guy that was like, you know, I would absolutely love it if I could work in Linux. If I could just start using Linux, I'd be so happy. If I could do that at work instead of doing Windows all the time. And then once I finally got my wish, that sort of ruined everything else Linux related. So when I would come home from work, I don't really have the time to mess with Linux now. I've been doing it all day at work. And that was sort of the downfall of the Linux portion of my channel, in association with a bunch of other things. But anyway, I'm wasting time. It's about 12:30 now. I've got a half an hour to have some lunch, get digested, get back here and ready to actually do the hangout. That was a pretty decent lunch. I ended up having some of Duncan's leftover sandwich from last night. Normally he will just destroy a Jimmy John sandwich, but for some reason he only ate like a third of it, so I had the rest. Not a terribly high calorie option, so it'll get the job done. By the way, I am still sticking with it. I have been logging, I have not been snacking. I am, however, going to have a little teeny snack. This is a piece of that sourdough bread that my neighbor brought over to me last night. Excellent stuff. I'm doing the video with Bryan Lunduke and the guys now. And we are done. That was actually genuinely a lot of fun. And if any of the guys from the broadcast I was in happened to see this video by some stretch of the imagination, thank you guys for the opportunity. That was great. As I said to Bryan in the beginning of the video, Bryan, like I said to you guys earlier, Bryan's a large part of the reason why I started making YouTube videos, because I wanted to do it better. But that was a lot of fun. And actually, right before the recording started, I got a package from USPS. I now have a proper cane. It has a handle. It's actually made of cork, and I did not expect that. And it's a hiking stick, not just a cane. But as you can see there, it's like Chinook Technical Outdoor. It's got several points of adjustment down there. It came with some replacement tips. This, I think, will get the job done. Except that it came in this ridiculously large box. It was all collapsed down and only took up like that much of the box. That's a box. Oh, and that's interesting. It's got a springiness to it, but it's comfortable. I kind of like it. I may have to shorten it a little bit, but that's pretty easy to do. I'm coming toward the door because I actually heard something bang on the door a few minutes ago, so I wanted to see if another package or something had arrived. And lo and behold, yep, packages. And this is what actually showed up in the package that was mine out there. Should be an interesting video. It's a wireless ring mouse. Never used one of those before. By the way, Christina got the last of the furniture set up last night. I didn't quite realize that it was all going to be kind of murka, but okay, to each their own, I suppose. But we did test it out late last night after I had already finished uploading the vlog. And yes, this pillow does flip over and is just blue on the other side, so may spend a lot of time like that. Not to say that there's anything wrong with having that pattern or anything, it's just not really my style. But as far as outdoor furniture, definitely quite comfortable. Except you can't really sit in it, you kind of lay in it. It'll do. And from what I've seen and read, apparently all of the pillows and cushions and everything are, let's see, UV resistant, mildew resistant, treated to resist weather and fading. So I don't think that's gonna make it waterproof. We may actually want to like pour some water on it first just to see, but either way, I think it'll get the job done. And if it doesn't, we'll figure that out when the time comes. Well, that was kind of fun. I just finished filming this first video about the creation crate they sent out to me. This was a LED mood lamp. Definitely very much a prototype design, but it's sort of working. I'm very new to all the electronic stuff, so I probably don't have everything wired up 100%, but you can see the LEDs are lighting up, the blue one's being very wonky. Anyway, I said all this stuff in the video, I don't want to repeat myself. That video will probably be up tomorrow? No, tomorrow's the news video, which I actually have not filmed yet. Anyway, it is quite a bit later at this point. It's a little after 4 o'clock. I've already gotten Duncan off the bus. We took a little trip over to the cemetery to get Pokemon and to just sort of hang out. And we actually captured a couple of gems while we were there. Duncan, up to this point, has not really been doing Pokemon gem hunting. He's just been collecting Pokemon and powering them up and evolving them and everything, because he was several levels behind me, and his highest level Pokemon was like 1,000. For whatever reason, most of the gyms in that area were, I want to say like 600 to 1,000 was the highest Pokemon they had in there, which is really low in my experience. So we very quickly stomped on a couple of gyms and took them over, and I actually had enough coins at this point that I was able to upgrade my bag size, which is very handy given all the times he wants to go over there and get more Pokeballs and stuff. So now I have 400 slots instead of 350, which is completely useful. And all in all, not a bad day so far. Well, we've all made it home now. Ellis actually may or may not have said his second word. He said bu-bu-bu. Can't get him to do it on command or anything. But just look at that. He is staring Duncan down. He wants to play so badly. He's got the sinus and allergy issues like me. But it's time for another home chef dinner. Good stuff?
Wind chopped if I made this.
Oh. So what is this?
Chicken adobo tacos and Mexican street corn.
So this is like street vendor taco truck food, cool stuff. Duncan and I played a little bit of Rocket League, but then he saw a new game in our VR library. I think it's called Pitch Hit, something like that. Oh. And it appears to just be batting from a tee, except he's kind of playing it like tennis, because it only allows you to hold the bat with one hand. You put the ball back with the other hand, and Ellis is bouncing, because that's what Ellis does. Well, I think he's got the idea now. He's getting some pretty decent hits, and actually it is sort of teaching him to follow through when he hits a baseball. Although it's not teaching him to hit with two hands.
Double ball!
2 balls. Three balls. Well, there they went. And oh look, skipping past pretty much the entire evening again. Christina took off for Walmart for a little while, had a few things needed to be picked up, so I stayed here with Duncan and Ellis. That's some of the stuff you saw earlier. Once she got back, we sat here and we all talked and hung out. It's actually like 10:15 and Duncan's still not in bed. She's taking him up there to give him a shower right now. But tonight we actually introduced Duncan to Michael Jackson for the first time. Not just that, but you know, he watched a bunch of videos from Pentatonics. That's a music group we watch here on YouTube. That's just amazing stuff. We introduced him to a very old video from Kurt Hugo Schneider, the Sam Shuey Michael Jackson medley. That's one of the earliest videos I watched on YouTube, I think. It's like middle 2009 is when it came out, and I saw it when it was brand new. So we introduced him to a bunch of different musical things tonight, and he seemed to be enjoying it. And even though it's a little too late, Ellis is still completely passed out on the floor over there. Poor little guy. When he was bouncing in his jumper earlier, I looked away from him for a minute while Duncan was playing in the VR. I was answering an email or something, and all of a sudden I heard Ellis get really quiet. So I looked over, and he had completely just fallen back in his jumper. Like his head was falling back. He passed out asleep, standing up. So I got him out immediately. I cradled him until he was thoroughly asleep and then laid him down on the floor on his playmat, and he's been out since then. So that is actually probably where things are going to wrap up for today. I'm going to get all of this done, edited, and uploaded. I'm going to get some medicine in me and head to bed. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you had a wonderful day like we did. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.